Hello. There's a new thing in the YouTube chat. Like they're giving people crowns with numbers next to, like a fan thing. No idea what that is. Fan thing? I don't know. It's just a thing in the chat. It's just there. Hello. Welcome to this Talking Tuesday live stream with me, your host, Winters SEO. And first, we have to deal with a very important thing. Very important topic. Hot topic. As you know from a live stream a couple of weeks ago, I discovered the literal end of the world. Nutella ice cream. Yes, someone has put together Nutella and ice cream. It may have been around for centuries, but I've only just discovered this, and it is the end of the world because I'm going to die of this stuff. And the important question was, people kept asking, we need to know, is the Nutella ice cream, is it any good? I'm here to say 10 out of 10, would bang, GGWP, see you at Lang. It's all of the above. If you like Nutella, who doesn't like Nutella? Maybe vegans. They don't seem to like joy. So if you like Nutella and ice cream, and who doesn't like ice cream? I mean, maybe Eldar players, they don't seem to like joy. But so long as you're not a vegan or a Craft World Eldar player, you'll probably like Nutella and you'll probably like ice cream, and mashed together, OMG. So good, in fact, that when I went back to the shops to buy some more Nutella ice cream, it was sold out. And then I went back again today to do a bit of shopping, but mainly for some Nutella ice cream, and there was 3 tubs in the shop, so I bought them all. So there's no more Nutella ice cream in Asda in Swindon. I'm sorry if you went there this afternoon to Asda in Swindon to find some and wondered where it had all gone. Me. And then the weather changed, and it's changed from the hotter than the surface of the sun in Swindon to normal 20 degrees and raining. This is summer now. It's not even 20 degrees. It's like 18 degrees and raining in July. So it's normal English summertime. It's raining. So we're back to where we are, which means we can actually paint without the paint gluing our fingers together. We can actually build stuff. Like I'm trying to build this fella, but I'm having problems sticking that on. It doesn't want to go on. I think the support things on the inside, those things there, I might have glued them on the wrong way around. They might go on one way around instead of the other way around, but I haven't looked at instructions since 1996. So I tend to eyeball it. Maybe on this occasion, I shouldn't have eyeballed it. But I'll figure it out anyway. A little bit of creative breaking with a knife, a bit of mini-put, and yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to fix that one. The annoying thing about the Saturnine Dreadnought is it comes with 2 guns. Only 2 guns. Why couldn't it come with, but they're very magnetizable. They've even got the hole in. They're very magnetizable. So I'm sure more guns will be coming in the future. That's why these fellas are in the kit, right? Dreadnoughts, because we love Dreadnoughts. There's loads of Dreadnoughts. There's Contemptor Dreadnoughts, Leviathan Dreadnoughts, Contakar Dreadnoughts, Derridere Dreadnoughts, Hell Brutes. There's Dreadnoughts. And then Terminators. Thousands of different Terminators against. You just know that Horus Heresy 3rd edition, Horus Heresy, the shareholder edition, the shareholder said, put Dreadnoughts and Terminators in it. They sell like hotcakes. And that's why it's got Dreadnoughts and Terminators in it. And I have it on good authority. They designed the third. The Saturnines go way back, even before 2nd edition was released. But, here we are. Big Saturnine box set. It's got all the Terminators in it. It's got all the Dreadnoughts in it. And it didn't sell out. I can't remember an edition which hasn't sold out. I can guess why. The internet went over the weekend. Explosions everywhere. Toys, prams, dogs and cats living with each other. Chaos on the streets. It's been amazing to see the internet over the weekend. Apparently, people don't like Games Workshop very much. That's new. I thought we all loved Games Workshop. I thought we loved Games Workshop more than we loved Disney. But no. People aren't a fan right now for some reason. And all the Dreadnoughts and all the Terminators in the world, and they still didn't sell out. I think part of the problem is I went online today, literally today, to Games Workshop to buy some stuff. Well, I actually went to Element Games, but some of the stuff you have to get from Games Workshop. And I couldn't find a thing on the Games Workshop website, so then I clicked like on the search all. On the Horus Heresy page on Games Workshop right now, just over 70% of the range is not available. Am I yelling at clouds again? Am I an old man ranting one more time? Imagine a release of AOS or 40k, or pick a game, any game, where the company that wants to sell you the release hasn't got 70% of the product that back. If people are like rocking up and want to start the heresy, and they're like, okay, I'm going to get into it. Because here's the other thing. The community is divided. I've got quite a few messages from and WhatsApp stuff and in the Discord. And there are a few people out there. Well, not a few. There's quite a number of people out there. And the Games Workshop is banking on this as well. There's quite a number of people out there who are looking forward to get into the Heresy in 3rd edition. And I think 2nd edition is better. I think 3rd edition is 3rd edition. But all the games of 3rd edition that I've played so far, they've been fun. They've been good. I haven't played a bad war game since... I don't think I played a bad war game. I mean, even 7th edition, Detachment edition, 40k was okay. That was quite good. 9th edition 40k, where you needed a peer, that was quite good. I don't think I've played a bad edition. But so 3rd edition's fun. It's fun. It's been fun. There's the challenges. I like the no dice rolling. 0 dice rolling. It's really good. And there's some fun to it. But 70% of the range you can't get. Imagine like 40k gets released tomorrow, and like little Timmy goes, right, I want to start collecting Tyranids, and then the range isn't there. 70. It's just crazy. Anyway, here we are. I'm ranting already. Let's jump into the stream. Hi. My eyes today are screwed. I'm going to be wearing my glasses. Hi, Night Major. Thank you for gifting 10 memberships. Dude, you're a legend. He's new to the chat. Turned up last week. Dropped a bunch of memberships. Came in this week, swinging all over the place. And here he is, swinging it around one more time. Dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very much. Can we get a GGWP Winter's Dice? Can we get a GG's in the chat for Night Major, please, for supporting the channel? He's a legend. And Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor chucks one over the fence as well and gifts a membership as well. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you. Anyway, rant over. Let's lock in, chat. Chat, lock in. I'm here to answer any of the... So Nutella ice cream, bang in, okay? If you haven't played Horus Heresy before, 3rd edition, you'll love it. It's good fun. It's more complicated to learn than 40k, but easier to master. That is still the thing. There's still more in the core rules and then less in the codexes, so to speak, if you're coming over from 40k, which is good because it means you can understand what your opponent's army is doing very quickly. Not very quickly, but once you've got the rules down, like when you play 40k, you could be playing 40k, you learn all the stuff, you and your mate, you Space Marines Death Guard, and then you go down to a local club, go down to a local store, or turn around and go to an event, and suddenly you're playing Tau, and you've never played against Tau before, and you have no idea what they do. And that's 40k, and you've got to learn Tau, and you've got to learn Black Templars, and you've got to learn Craftworld Elder. Don't learn that one. And you've got to learn all the things to learn all the things. Heresy, a lot harder to get into because the core rules are a bit thicker, but everyone's got... There's Custodes, there's Solar Auxilia, there's Mechanicum, but apart from them, you know what a las cannon does, you know what a tank does, you know what the other things do. So it's harder to learn, easier to master. Good game. Anyway, Iron Warrior dropped one night. Thank you for your donation. Have you seen the Mechanicum changes? Hurts my head. Yes, Iron Warrior. Between now and when I came on, thank you for your donation. GG's in the chat to you. Thank you, Iron Warrior. Between now and also Sam Nash did a thing. So between now and the last live stream, I did check out the Mechanicum stuff, and it does hurt my head. Now, the main thing about the Mechanicum changes are 50 points for a Castellax. The main thing about the Mechanicum changes are Phalanx can no longer shoot, move, but you can give them all multi-melters or darkfire cannons, which is odd, because one of the things that Games Workshop want to do in this edition of Horus Heresy is stop you taking nice things, and instead only take the things for your miniatures that are in the box. And if you don't take the things for your miniatures that are in the box, you can't have them. Except you can for Phalanx, you can for Castellax. There's a number of units out there where you can take a bunch of stuff for the things that are not in the box for certain units, but you can't for other units. Anyway, besides that, stop ranting, Winters. Focus, lock in. Yes, I've seen the Mechanicum stuff. I've seen it. It made my head hurt. There's no line on the surface. There's lots of little things you need to do to get line, but line is hard in Mechanicum, which means you'll lose all the time. You particularly, line 1 you can get in places, line 2 you can get in places. Vanguard is really hard, so you're going to lose. It's going to be hard. Their guns are good, shooting is good. Also, the fact that some of the robots can hit on 4s in close combat now is slightly annoying. Like, they can hit as good as space. There's some narrative decisions that went behind some of the rules in previous decisions of Heresy. And there's some decisions that have gone into the new Mechanicum robots, which I thought, well, minute, doesn't make narrative sense to me, but what do I know? Anyway, but the Mechanicum stuff, complicated, very complicated. It made my head. Yes, Mechanicum stuff. We'll cross that bridge. I've touched the tip, okay? I've touched the tip. I haven't devoured the whole length. Sam Nash has been a member for 42 months. Thank you, Sam. He's been on the channel many, many times. Other than Wargear issues and shorter games, is there any other major issues with 3.0? Do no Rights of War affect the fluff or the less? Feel sad for my Destroyer company. Any news on Legends? So there's no news on Legends or the facts yet. So Destroyer companies don't exist anymore. I mean, there was a famous quote, wasn't it, that in the Warcom is like, "Can I field my entire army?" ? And this is coming up over all the weekend again and again and again. Where was the thing? I screenshot it because I'm that anal. Where's the thing? Recent. Yeah, that famous one. Look, can you guys see that? Can I still use my current army? You totally can. Moreover, the rules of army, can I still use my current army? You totally can't. If you've got a White Scars Bike army, or if you've got a Drop Pod Assault, or if you're the Day of Revelations for Blood Angels, or if you've got a full Destroyer company. There's many armies you totally can't field, let alone the individual models that individual stuff breaks. So good question. We're waiting for a fact. We're waiting for the Legends. We're waiting for the thing. I have no news on that. Hopefully when it comes out, it will allow some people who can't field their shizzle to field some of their shizzle. I personally am looking forward to Volkite guns on Breachers. I'm also looking forward to guns on Gorgons. I'm also looking forward to the correct weapons on Tartarus, because right now, as it stands, Tartarus can bring power weapons and lightning claws. The interesting thing is, in the box, if you buy a Tartarus Terminator box right now, there's one power weapon in it. And then you can field 5 pairs of lightning claws or 10 pairs of individual lightning claws and power fists and chain fists in that box, which you can't field according to the rules. So we're waiting for some of the things to come back. What was the other question? Other than Wargear issues and shorter games, is there any other major issues with 3.0? So the main issues with 3.0 right now are Wargear Legends. But there will be Legends. We need that out. That's number 1. 2, shorter games isn't necessarily a problem, because you and your friends can decide to pay for 5 games. You and your friends can decide to play Heresy 2.0 games. You and your friends, like hell, when I play 40k games, about half of the games I play on the channel aren't Pariah Nexus, aren't chapter approved, they're ones I make up. In fact, the one coming out on Sunday is a 3-player chaos on chaos on chaos Warhammer 40k battle report this Sunday. Nothing in the book allows you to. It's good fun, great fun. 3 players in the room throwing dice at each other. Love it. So that's what Heresy, 4 turn games. That's a thing. The cover is a thing which you're going to need to house rule. There was another thing that really, I mean, what are the, other than Wargear issues, and are there any other major issues? Cover can break the game. So if you're in medium terrain, 5-up terrain, if you're in a ruin and you're an Alpha Legion person and you are more than an inch away, just say an inch and a whisker away from your opponent, they can't see you, they can't shoot you, they can't charge you, and you're that far away, that's a problem. Drop pod assault and all bike armies, that's a we need those sorts of things back. There's a couple of issues. So Wargear options broke. Yeah, there's a couple of broken things in it which need fixing. But Dreadnoughts, like the community decided in the previous edition, like 1 Dreadnought per 1,000 was a thing. Particularly at events, particularly at tournaments. And then anyone who came on the channel, for example, one of the questions I would ask them is, how many Dreadnoughts are you bringing? And if they said, I'm bringing 5, I'd bring 5. I'm okay with 5 so long as you bring 5 in return. Are you bringing a Primarch? I'm bringing a Primarch, I'll bring a Primarch. So the balancing for broken stuff is something we've always done. Let's jump into the chat. Where are we? Because this is a Horus Heresy 3rd edition Q&A session. I want to lock in more this time and rant less and actually answer your questions, chat. This time round, like last time, I had a quick brief scan through the last Q&A session and I answered about 4 questions. This time I want to answer a lot more. I'm here for you. We're here. Let's answer some questions. Just finished your Iron Hands and Sons of Horus video from the other day. Looks like the game is mostly pretty alright despite the issues. It's mostly pretty alright. As I said at the beginning of the stream, I can't remember if I've played a bad war game. I've played some war games that are better than others, and some people will play this war game and think it's better than another. I know a bunch of people who some of the Horus Heresy Hammer lads, for example, prefer Heresy 1.0 to 2.0. I preferred 2.0 because of the reactions. I stopped playing Heresy 1.0, but I couldn't stop playing Heresy 2.0. Some people will love this edition. For some people coming into the hobby and starting their Heresy journey, no one comes into the hobby at Heresy, don't they? Everyone comes in at Space Marine or AOS or something, and then these are the... But for some people started their Heresy journey in 3.0, this will be the best edition they've ever played. Someone sell me on making a whole Horus Heresy Ultramarines army. I can't, Eternal Crusader. I cannot sell you on it. I can't. Read No Fear or listen to No Fear. How do Primarchs feel? Are duels fun between them? How do Primarchs feel? Primarchs feel like they always felt. Primarchs, but softer. Primarchs are absolute killers. They're beasts, but the thing is, in this edition, there's a lot of damage 2, damage 3, damage 4. Now, Primarchs don't really care about damage 2, damage 3, because most of them have Eternal Warrior 2, and then Vulcan and Mortarion have Eternal Warrior 3, which means they're reducing the amount of damage against them by 2 or by 3, so they're typically only ever losing 1 wound. That's unless they're getting shot at by Typhons or Cerberus tanks or things, or Cyclonic Melter Lances, things like that. But Primarchs can also suffer stasis effects, get stunned, get pinned, get fallback, get routed. It'd be hard for you to do that on a Primarch. You'd need to stack Panic and Fear and things like that to do it, because their leadership tests, their stats are so high, but Primarchs are susceptible to either injuries or statuses which they never were before. Some people might think that's a good thing. Some people might think it's a bad thing. Personally, I just think it's a bit weird. I don't really have a problem on those extreme circuits, because you need to get extreme to have a Primarch be pinned. But it's going to happen, and it'll happen on a battle report sooner or later. So that's the change. but they're still absolute killers. The other side of it is Primarchs, when you brought them into your army, they did something to your army. Now they still do something to your army, but most of them only do something to your army for a turn rather than the whole game. So, for example, previously, Iron Hands, Ferrous Manners gave your entire army a 6-up, which wasn't a vehicle, or a Dreadnought or Automata, gave most of your army a 6-up Field O' Pain for the whole game, but now it's only a thing for the first turn. But they're still beasts. They're still beasts. They're still around the same points cost, and they'll still kill everything they touch. Thank you. Thank you, Rue, for gifting a membership. You absolute legend. Thank you, Rue. GG's in the chat for Rue. What are your thoughts on glancing hit status effects versus pens just causing damage, not effects? Yes, I feel it's weird that you can get glanced and gets effects on vehicles and then pens and no effects on vehicles. It feels weird. It still feels weird that I'm shooting at vehicles. Most of the time when you shoot at a vehicle, most of the time it's going to die or go down to 1 or 2 wounds. Because there's a lot of armor bane anyway. So most of the time you're not putting any effects on it. You hit something with a multi-melter, it's got armor bane. You hit something with a las cannon, it's got armor bane. You hit something with cyclonic melter lance or even neutron laser, it's got armor bane. Most of the big guns have got armor bane. Auto cannons, missile launchers, no, not so much. But you tend to be firing auto cannons and missile launchers at light terminators and dreadnoughts and things like that, not at tanks. So does the terrain rules work in your opinion? No. But how are you going to run Raven Guard though? How many jump packs do I need to buy with Volvo characters? Say me. So Raven Guard these days they're going to turn into a very shooty force, and most of my Raven Guard was a very shooty force. You're going to want snipers and Raven Guard shoot. Move in there quicker with Vanguard units such as Terminators or Jump Infantry. I think Mordathan, and I think both Mordathan and Dark Furies are Vanguard units. So they're going to react pretty much the same as they did, but better, because their main rule is you only snapfire at them if you're more than X inches away. Dark Furies do not have Vanguard, and neither do Mordathan. In fact, Mordathan have support unit 1, so they can only ever score 1 point from an objective. Dark Fury. So you're using your Mordathan and your Dark Furies just to kill. But you don't have to go anywhere near objectives or sweep people off objectives with it. So you're going to be using Jump Infantry, Assault Marines to get all your Vanguard points. I think it's not well balanced. It's really... Flare Shield plus Battlesmith is a nasty combination. I can't find any Flare Shield in the Legion book. There is Flare Shield in the Mechanicum book, which glances always counts as penetrating hits. No, you can never count glancing hits as penetrating hits. That rule. It cancels out Armor Bane. Battlesmith... I've brought a couple of Tech Marines off camera running around to heal some tanks. I've never managed to get a Battlesmith roll off yet, because you either shoot at a tank and utterly kill it, or shoot at a tank and nothing happens because you didn't pen it and it's smoke screened and the tank's fine. Battlesmith was one of those when I was originally looking at the rules like, this is really strong. I'm going to be bringing Tech Marines, particularly as you can have Tech Marines now not attached to anyone. They can run around on their own. They don't need to attach to units. You can have a Tech Marine behind a building near a tank, and also Battlesmith works within 6-inch range of a tank. I thought Battlesmith would be broken. I haven't even managed to roll a Battlesmith roll yet. I don't know how often it will come up. D Baggins, D Bagus. Thank you for your donation, you absolute legend. Thank you. So your last Horus Heresy battle report, shooting at units in cover buildings seems a bit iffy. Thoughts? Yes. So if you are more than 3 inches back in medium terrain, you cannot be seen. So you can't shoot them, you can't charge them. I think the community will respond by just saying all terrain is light terrain and everything's a 6-up cover save rather than a 5-up cover save. Then that fixes it. Fixes that problem. Or other house rules for terrain might come into effect. So they've got house rules. Yeah, so that's how you're going to have to fix the terrain issue, I think. And also I think the community is going to come together. Those guys that write all the community rules, there'll be a widely accepted community rule set for terrain within a few... If Games Workshop doesn't fack it, within weeks, it'll be out by the time it releases. Clarky, thank you for your £5 donation. Thank you. Can we get GG's in the chat for D-Baggers, Clarky, and Fletcher Blanford, please, who's been a member for 27 months. GG's in the chat, guys. What's the Wargear for Wardens now for Fists? Keep up the good work. Wardens, Fists. Wardens, Fists. And Fletcher Blanford said, hi, Winters, do you feel about third ed as a whole, a lack of custom? I'll get to that. Let's get to... 1 minute. Thank you for 27 months, Fletcher Blanford, though. Hi, Winters, do you feel about third ed as a whole? I assume that is what do you feel about third edition? The lack of custom Wargear for a lot of units and the colour of specific bolters is the fluff gone. So the answer to that question is go back and check the last live stream where I ranted for about, the one that came out on Saturday, for about 10 full minutes. And all the live stream before that, where I chat about what I really think. But basically... everything you say, I agree with. All of it. They took a lot away. And they did that when they went from 7th to 8th. And they did that when they went from Lord of the Rings 1st edition, 2nd edition to 3rd edition. And they did that with the old world when they burnt it down. Games Workshop, it's a thing that is happening in Games Workshop over the last... I think games... when they originally released them, they're like sand pits, play pits, do what you want. And then those games, either they die and they kill them, like Mordheim, because they kill them because they're not selling. Or if they continue to sell, like Blood Bowl or Necromunda or 40k, then they support them. And then that play pit, sand pit, we're here for the gamers vibe. Well, this game is successful now, so we don't want you scratch building stuff and making your own weapons and making your own loadouts and using 3D printers, and we don't want that. We want you only using the stuff that we sell. And I think Games Workshop do that again and again and again, and now Heresy 3.0, they've done it with Heresy 3.0, but not entirely. As I said, there are some units in there that can take more that are available in the box. There are some units in there that can't even take the stuff that's available in the box. And then there's Praetors and Centurions, which are still pretty chocolate boxy, apart from the fact they can't take bikes, apart from the fact they can't take jet bikes. But apart from that, what have the Romans ever done for us? So all that stuff I said about they've got a history of this is what they do eventually doesn't make sense because they haven't entirely done it. They've half done it in this edition and then half not done it in other places. And then it feels like there was a right tug of war going on behind the scenes with this thing, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It does. Who asked? Sorry, Clarky. I've got to get your question. And I said earlier on, I'm going to lock in and answer some more Q&A questions and not rant as much. So we're going to lock in. We're going to lock in. Clarky, what's the Wargear for the Wardens now for Fists? Yes. Are you talking about Warders? Wargear for Warders. Phalanx Wardens? Phalanx Warders. I assume that's what you mean by Phalanx Warders. The Wargear for Wardens now for Fists. Clarky, do you mean Clarky? Phalanx Warders. Phalanx Warders, 200 points for 10 models. They come with Power Axe, Bolt Pistol, Boarding Shields. Power Axe, Bolt Pistols, Boarding Shields. They can. The Water Sergeant may exchange Bolt Pistol for a Plasma Pistol. And the Water Sergeant can take a Thunderhammer or a Solarite Power Gauntlet. Up to 2 Phalanx Wardens in this unit may have one item from the Legion equipment list selected for them. Okay. And then one can have a Vexilla and every model can have metal bombs. So basically they come with power axes and bolt pistols. The sergeant can take a hammer or a gauntlet or a plasma pistol. And 2 can have items from the Legion equipment list. That's it. Thanks so much. Cool. Good. Got it. Night Major, thank you for being a member for a month. Legend. Blood Angels. The Angel says it. So yes, we're locked in. We're here to answer some questions. Not to rant. We're not ranting, chat. Lot of kin. Got the electrolytes with the water. More questions. D. Bagus Maximus, member for 12 months. Legend. Thank you. GG's in the chat. So I got the Burning and Prospero back in the day. Would it combine well with the starter box? I play Iron Warriors. I can't remember what was in the Burning of Prospero box. But if you want to start Horus Heresy, the Saturnine box set is a good place to start. It's got Terminators and Dreadnoughts in it. And you're always going to want Terminators of Dreadnoughts as you get into as you start collecting. It won't just be Saturnine Terminators you'll want some Tartarus and you'll want some Cataphracti as well. Because Terminators are good, Terminators are cool. Dreadnoughts are cool, get all the Dreadnoughts. You're going to want 40 infantry. The only thing that's in it that you might not want is that really big gun, but you're an Iron Warrior, so you'll probably want that really big gun. It's a good... The last Age of Darkness box set that they did in 2.0 was a good box set for starters. This is a good box set if you want to start the hobby. Start with the box set and then add. You're going to use all the things. It's got 40 infantry in it. The second thing you want to do straight away is buy some rhinos, 2 rhinos. Surfishing. Thank you for your $199. Thank you. 3.0, a fun experience. Does it have the same feel as 2.0? It doesn't have the same feel as 2.0. 3.0 so far has been fun. Again, I haven't played a bad war game, and it's not shit. You can't sit there. I can't stand in a room with a friend, roll some dice, drink some tea, and play a war game and have a shit time. If I did... I started in 1986. I wouldn't be here doing this. I would have quit that hobby a long, long ass time ago. Even the bit where people fall out of the hobby and go and then they discover sex, drug and rock and rolls, that bit in the 20s, late teens, even then I still did it. Not as much, but I did it. So it's fun. 3.0 is fun. It's just that 2.0 was probably the best war game I've ever played. It doesn't have the same feel of 3.0. It's a different game. The way you collect your army, the way you assemble the army, the movement phase has changed, the shooting phase has changed, the charge phase has changed a lot. And the way you score the missions has completely changed. It's a different war game. Pacot, thank you for your $10. I really appreciate it. I've seen some comments about people. I'm going to jump down before that because Night Major has stuck in a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Any rules for Zone Mortalis? There are no rules for Zone Mortalis in the main rulebook. That might either come out as a PDF or some advanced thing a bit later. We shall see. But thank you for your $5. And then the $10. I've seen some comments about people cancelling memberships because they don't like 3.0. But I think most of us aren't going anywhere. We're here for you. Any game system, keep up the amazing work. Oh, thank you. So it wasn't a question. You're like, yeah, I've got a few emails and I've got a few personal comments. And then there's a few comments in YouTube comment sections. Yes, there is a percentage of people who have said, no, thank you very much. I joined you for your Horus Heresy content and I can't support 3.0 content, I'm not going to be a member anymore. And so there is a percentage of people who've told me that and left. And, sucks. But, yeah, people have got to vote with their wallet, vote with their things. And I appreciate that as Pacot says, but I think most of us aren't going anywhere. We're here for you. Any game system, keep up the amazing work. I appreciate it. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, I got another one. There was another comment. I forget. Someone was banging on about shilling games and all that, and only saying good stuff about Games Workshop. And I was like, have you ever seen one of my live streams, or even like when I ranted about the Gene Stealer Codex back in 9th, or even when I make that mad rant about, it doesn't matter, way back. People do what they want to do, and yeah, he was like, well, you know, you only do it for the content. And I was like, dude, if I wanted content, I wouldn't have gone to Horus Heresy in the first place. Horus Heresy doesn't get as much views. It doesn't. I'm going that way because I like that. When I started the channel, there was Horus Heresy 1.0 content on it. I liked Horus Heresy 1.0. I started during 7th edition. It's 11 years of the channel in August the 19th. This next month. 11 years. And I stopped doing 1.0 Horus Heresy because I stopped doing 1.0 Horus Heresy. And then when I started doing Horus Heresy 2.0, I started doing... And you know what? In the future, I might stop doing Horus Heresy all over again. Or I might go back up to 2.0. Or I might stop doing 40k. I will ride this roller coaster, this hobby roller coaster, with my teeth bared, clinging on for dear life for as long as I can. This YouTube roller coaster for as long as I can, because you know what? It beats working. So thank you to everyone who watches the video, who subscribes, who is a member, who supports me. Thank you so much. This beats working. It's great. But I am not going to start playing a game I don't want to play. I'm not going to start shilling some bullshit and saying stuff that I do not feel or do not believe. And I am going to start playing and filming games that are completely random, that get me 0 views. If I am going to do that, I am going to do that. Because it's always been about, right from the start, it's always been about just filming what I do and sticking it online. I mean, yeah. I'm amazed to this day that people watch this shit. You're here on a Tuesday evening and you're locked in and watching this, rather than there's kittens. This is YouTube. Do you realize how many kitten videos there are on YouTube? You could be doing so much better things with your time instead of staring at me. D Baggins, here to support, voting with the correct wallet. Thank you, you absolute legend. Thank you for your £2 donation. And then Henrik with a DKK 50, which sounds like funny money to me, but I'll take it. Are rhinos vital for games? Can you charge out of them? Rhinos are vital for all games. Yes, you can charge out of them. An Infernal Puppet Center membership. Thank you very much. GG's WP. Love you guys. Thank you. Yes, Heinrich. I think 2 rhinos are going to be critical in every single game of Horus Heresy. They've got a front army value of 12 and 5 hull points now. The game's in the main rulebook. There are 3 missions in the main rulebook. And one has 4 objectives in it, one has 3 objectives in it, one has 2 objectives in it. It's a bit more complicated than that because you have Line, you have Vanguard, and also the 3rd mission, the objective goes down from 3 points to 2 points to 1. But you are essentially fighting over objectives now with secondaries like Giant Killer, Slay the Warlord, First Strike, Last Man Stand. There's some secondary objectives which are worth a fixed number, and then there's objectives that you're fighting over which are worth the variable number depending on who's scoring it at the time. That's the mission. That's the game now. That's Heresy right now, which is 50% of what the game used to be. Because half of the game's what used to be fighting over objectives with the secondary. So we're used to this. We're used to this. Getting to those objectives, particularly if you have first turn, you score the objectives at your end, your game turn. So if there's an objective here and you have first turn and you can zip across and get out of a rhino on that objective there. Bear in mind the rhino can move 12, then you can get out 7 from the rhino. That's a 19-inch threat range, grabbing you some extra points. Critical, absolutely critical in this edition of Horus Heresy, and vice versa, doing it backwards if you go second. Rhinos, very, very critical in this edition. I would have a minimum 2 tactical squads and minimum 2 rhinos in almost every list. If not at least, if not 2 rhinos, at least 1 rhino being able to zoom around and 1 tactical marine camping on your home objective. But Rhinos, and you can charge out of them, but it counts as disordered. Disordered charge, you don't get a set-up move and you don't get a volley attack. But yes, you can move, disembark, charge from Rhinos. Got a load of questions coming up. I need to lock in. Servo Skull, thank you for gifting a membership. GG's. Can we also get GG's in the cat for can we have an avalanche of GG's? Because Fletcher's dropped another question. D Bangus has not Servo Skull has dropped in memberships. I'm feeling loved right now. GG's everywhere, guys. And we're on 20 likes. This is something I'm not very good at when it comes to live stream, but apparently you're supposed to, those are rookie numbers. We need to pump those numbers up. Fletcher B, I'm 22 and I watched you through high school. You got me into this hobby and kept me in it. I still go back to 8th ed videos of you. And thank you, Fletcher. Nice. Love you, bruh. D Baggers, I'm on a 2.5 month sabbatical. Sounds good. Don't have anything else to do. Just kidding. Been loving your content for years now. Great stuff. Keep it up. Thank you, D Baggers. Thank you, Fletcher B. Thank you, Servo Skull. Thank you for the 15 likes that went into the stream. Thank you all for being here. You're all legends. Surf Fishing. How do Dreads feel in 3.0 weapon skill 4 and overall? So Dreads in this edition. So in the previous edition, Dreads could feel quite oppressive, particularly to newer players who didn't know what Haywire was. Once you got your head around 2nd edition, particularly if you played against Mechanicum, or particularly against you played against a force with a bunch of either breachers or destroyers or Phobos speeders, there were plenty of ways to kill Dreads really, really easy. But they were locked into certain units. See, that's the thing about Heresy. There's always a tool to a job. There's weapons that can kill infantry really easy, but then last cannons suck at killing infantry. They'll kill, like, 5 last cannons will kill 5 infantry, but 5 combi bolters could kill 10 infantry. So there's different tools for different jobs. That's Heresy. In fact, in Heresy as well, you can have guns, weapons that cannot hurt the opponent at all, which will be a big shock to anyone coming over from 40k, because in 40k a 6 to wound always wounds, but in Heresy a 6 to wound don't mean shit if you're strength 1. You're not wounding anything. So Dreadnoughts can feel impressive. So dropping down to weapon skill and ballistic skill 4, plus the fact that all melters basically damage 3 or higher, and then last cannon standing still damage 2 or higher. The fact that there's multiple damage weapons in the game, there's more brutal in the game, mean that Dreadnoughts don't feel as oppressive, and I kind of like it. There's going to be no comp events or in the community where we say that you can only bring 1 Dreadnought per 1,000 points. That will go away. What they want you to be able to do is turn up around a friend's house or turn up and play a game with someone with 6, 7 Dreadnoughts and not feel bad, and they won't feel bad about going up against them. You can bring 4 or 5 Dreadnoughts along now and not feel shitty. And you can go up against 4 or 5 Dreadnoughts now and you'll be fine. So the change to Dreadnoughts, I get it. Personally, what I would have done, is I would have left them at weapon skill, ballistic skill 5, and I would have made them a bit more expensive in points, because they can die now. They do get smokescreen though, which is interesting. Definitely not a gator. Thank you for being a member for 8 months. Legend. I see. Got to grease the wheel to get your question answered. Slides membership across deck. Morty datasheet. Mortarian datasheet. And also Shalash. Keep up the great work. Love the channel. Which units can take the World Eater's cadre weapons now? Thanks. That's a good question. So thank you both. The Mortarian datasheet. Let's do the Mortarian datasheet first. Mortarian, Death Guard, the entire Mortarian datasheet. Mortarian, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 6, strength 7, toughness 7, 7 wounds, which is quite rare. Actually, strength 7, toughness 7, 7 wounds is quite rare. Most Primarchs, strength 6, toughness 6. Most of the Primarch main stat lines haven't changed. He's got leadership of 12, cool 10, willpower 10, intelligence 10. And he's got the lantern. And the lantern is plasma gun is now a flat damage 3. Nice. Strength 8, AP 2, damage 3. I like it. And silence, his big weapon, is initiative -1. So he's going to strike at initiative 5, which can be slower than some Praetors. Strength 8 with that modifier, AP 2, damage 2. He's got Reaping Blow of 3, so he'll get 3 extra attacks if he's outnumbered, and critical hit 6. So on 6s to hit, that damage 2 becomes damage 3. And when he makes a setup move, you remember his Shadow of the Reaper thing, when he could teleport forward. Now when he makes a setup move in the charge phase, treat that model's movement characteristic as 6. So he'll 10, sorry. So he'll probably make a setup move of somewhere in the region of 5 or 6 inches. So he's automatically can't fail charges at 5 or 6 inches. And the other one, World Eater's Cadre Weapons, I believe only Rampages. I believe. Let me check. It might also be some characters. Cadre Weapons. Yeah, if a model has Cadre weapons, it's not Cadre, I forget what it's called. You can select one of them as part of their thing, and Rampager squads come with them, and I think that's it. Yeah, so currently Meteor Hammers, the Chain Axes, the Phalanx Blades, and the Barb Hook Lashes, currently they're a Rampager thing. Rampagers can't take jump packs anymore as well, which is annoying because I have 15 of them. What are you hoping to see on Friday's preview? A FAQ. A FAQ would be nice. Legends choices. Can Iron Hands tack support squads take Grav Shredders still? I think Grav Shredders have gone from Iron Hands. Iron Hands, Grav Shredders. I remember looking. I can't remember seeing them in there at all. Yeah, they're good. Well, you can take Graviton pistols if you're a commander. If you're in the command slot. You think Games Workshop gives a FAQ? I don't think they really give a FAQ. See, when they burnt down the old world, or when they pissed off loads of 40k players from 7th to 8th edition, the 7th to 8th edition, the 3rd edition Heresy, and 7th and 8th edition, very similar. The difference is, there were a chunk of people who started 8th edition and who loved it straight away. Hopefully, there'll be a chunk of people who start Heresy 3.0 and love it straight away because they never did 7th edition. And then we get loads of people out there who love and enjoy our hobby, start the hobby, enjoy. This could be the start, and this will be the start of many people's journey into Horus Heresy. And it won't suck. I promise you, it won't suck. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. But Games Workshop do not give a FAQ because people who existed in the older edition, I bought all the things. They're not after my money, they're after your money. In 2.0, in Head of the Gorgon, Rite of War, you could take attack support squads with 10 Grav Shredders, which seems amazing. You can't now. 1 to 2 edition also saw a lot of units go to Legacy. Yeah. Yes, it did. I'm a bit worried about the 4-turn games and the simple take the objectives play style. Yeah. It's a different way of playing. It's a different game. It takes a while to get your head around it, but it's different. And then, as I said, if you and your friends don't like it, you can easily have another turn or make up your own missions. One of the things I think I'm going to be doing with Heresy 3.0, which I didn't do very much with Heresy 2.0, is I think I'm going to be making a few more my own brew narrative missions like I do with 40k. I think I half started that conversation earlier on in the stream and never got to the end of it. What are the Blood Angels rules like? Blood Angels have been gutted. There's a lot of stuff. Well, so if you weren't in Blood Angels beforehand, you're fine. You're fine? You're fine. They've got loads of Perdition weapons, which are nice, and they all breach on a 6, so they get their own weapon. They also get Infernal pistols, access to Inferno pistols and Perdition weapons, which no one else gets. But all the Iliaster stuff is... Don't worry about that. They can pick a unit to have fear. And on a turn when they make a charge, they increase their strength by 1. And that is actually one of the good rights of war, +1 strength on the charge. Because some of the rights of war for some of the regions kind of suck, but that was the same in 2nd edition as well. But yeah, don't get Blood Angels people in the chat talking, because they'll get very upset. Just reminding everyone that we're there. Hey, Mr. Winters, how do you find challenges? Hi, Sam. Am I correct that they keep fighting multiple times until one person dies? Yes. So what happens in a challenge is, at the start of the fight phase, two units collide. And then if any challenges are issued, you take them out and you resolve all the challenges first, and then go back to the fight phase. And you resolve the challenges for round after round after round until there's a victor, or until the person who's not the active player chooses the withdraw gambit and survives and manages to withdraw, or until the active player who has the advantages choose to go to the withdraw step. I forget what it's called. But yeah, unless you choose to stop the challenge, you keep going until someone's dead. And then you finish off the remainder of the fight. It's kind of, when it works, and we've only managed to pull it off a couple of times where it works, with many which were just, I challenge you, dead. I challenge you, dead. Which, let's face it, that's what happened beforehand anyway. Challenge, dead. Challenge, dead. That was common. But there are a couple of occasions where it goes ding, 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 like a little mini game in the middle of the game. And on both occasions when it did that, it was hella cool. It actually, the challenge system, when it works well. 10 out of 10. That's a good one. There's a couple of things about 3.0 which they could have ported straight into 2.0. Well, anyway, there's a couple of things about 3.0 which are really cool. And challenges, when they work, is really cool. Paco, the Taco Bender, thank you for coming along to the live stream. Welcome to Talkie Tuesday live stream. Thank you for your donation. You always said that 2.0 felt like a proper war game. I did. It felt like, it had its flaws, but it felt like a war game with the pinning, with the things, with that. Yes. Would you say the same about 3.0? 3.0 still feels like a war game. There is pinning. There is suppressing. There are vehicle armor facings. It's freer. Like, everything can move where it needs to move, and everything can shoot everything, and you can charge everything. They've taken a lot of... See, in 2.0, you could only shoot or charge. You can only charge the thing you shot at. But now in 3.0, you could shoot on the left and you could charge on the right. That kind of breaks... I kind of get it, though. Like, in a real battle, I've seen loads of war movies, and they're, like, shooting up there, and then they get charged, and they're like, okay, over there. They can... do more than what, but I get why the decision was there beforehand to only shoot and charge that thing, and only shoot and charge that thing, and you can't shoot over there. I get it. So that takes a bit. Some of the decisions take a bit again, and the fact that a vehicle can go flat out and you can get out of it. The vehicle used to have to slow down for you to get out. So there's some rules they've taken away, which means that element of war game is gone. But there's still enough war game in there with vehicle armor facings and challenges and pinning and suppression. And there's still enough of that in there to make it feel like a war game. It still feels like there's still some story there. There's still some story there, which is good because it's Horus Heresy. It's all about the story. And the second part of your question was, how does Deep Strike feel? No scatter. Yeah. Yeah. Free, no, you can't charge. Deep Strike, you just drop in. You don't charge, but you just drop in. No scatter, no nothing, you just drop in. You used to not be able to... It's a 2.0 thing. Before 2.0, you couldn't charge. The old editions of Warhammer, which led to Heresy 1.0, there was no charging from Deep Strike. That we had a glorious moment of a couple of years, Heresy 2.0, where you could charge from Deep Strike, and it was one of the things that a lot of people said was quite broken about the edition. Now you just drop in, you shoot, and then you're going to get charged or shot back. So whatever drops in, better either, one, be able to take a charge, or two, drop in somewhere where they can't be charged. Right, crack on. Where are we? I need to lock in, guys. I think I've answered more than 4 questions. So I think I'm doing pretty well for this live stream. Last time I did a live stream, I hardly answered any of the questions, but I'm locked in. I'm ready to answer the questions. We've answered some questions. Let's answer more. YouTube is getting way too comfortable with these unskippable ads. I don't know what's happening with YouTube and these unskippable. It's just something that changed like a couple of months ago, and it's here now, and they pop up in the middle of a stream and it annoys the crap out of me. And you, obviously. I'm slowly getting through my stages of grief. Exactly. I am out the loss of 2.0 and looking forward to playing 3.0. See, I've watched a few games, but something feels like it's missing though. See, this is the thing. Normally, do you remember when 2.0 dropped? People were excited. People were hyped. And here's the thing, Games Workshop said 3.0 is coming out. Everyone was like, arg. And then they did all the Warhammer stuff saying you can still bring your same army, which was an untruth. And then they did loads of articles about, don't worry, we're all good. It's still the same game you know and love. And then it comes out and it's not. It's this is the point. We're supposed to be hyped right now, thinking about our new army list, thinking about the new ways to play, thinking about do you remember when I did that shorts from my holiday, like existential dread? That's where a lot of people are. But don't worry, it's fine. The sky is not falling. It's fine. I'm looking forward. I haven't played my Raven Guard yet. I'm looking forward to getting the Raven, a classic game that me and Alex played quite a lot. I filmed a couple for the channel, but me and Alex play a lot of Heresy. And like 90% of the games we played weren't even on the channel, like almost every Monday for 3 years. And one of the favourite games was Raven Guard World Eaters, because World Eaters quick when I get in close combat. Raven is running around all the edges being fast and stuff. Like the classic shooty versus punchy, maneuver versus... Very tactical, very good game, and lots of different types of missions. It's just 2 legions that work well as protagonist and antagonist. It works well. I haven't done it yet, and I'm really looking forward to those permutations in 3.0. What are they going to do in this mission? What are they going to do in the 3rd mission where there's only 2 objectives? What would it be like if I brought in a couple of units for Deep Strike with a Master of Signals, making sure they're getting on a 2? What would it be like if I put stuff in outflank? Because you can roll for outflank from turn 1. You can outflank in turn 1. I'm now at that stage. I'm at the stage of, I want to get my toys out on the table and give them a go. The Titan rules seem really fun. They do, don't they? Do you think Kraken Bolters are going to be spammed? They seem way too strong. There's a lot of things that are way too strong. There's only a few things that can spam Kraken Bolters, like disintegration guns. Disintegrate guns, very strong. Kraken Bolters, pretty strong. The bolter in this, guys, you'll get... This is another good thing. So a couple of good things about the edition. No rerolls. Really nice. Games Workshop... The 40k writers said 10th edition, less rerolls. Horus Heresy said, hold my beer, no rerolls. It's refreshing. At first, it's a bit quite jarring. You're like, what? But after you played a couple of games, the dice are the dice. The ones are the ones. The sixes are the sixes. The dice tell the story. Oh, as a dice rolling Wargamer fan, oh, it feels good. We're so used to rerolls. I know in Heresy 2.0 there weren't very many anyway, compared to 40k anyway. There weren't any, but compared to other war games, there were quite a lot of rerolls. Like Bolt Action doesn't have any rerolls. So there were quite a lot of rerolls. Rending, Shred, Hatred. No rerolls. Nice. Another thing about 3rd edition, which is nice. Those challenges, when they work, when someone just doesn't get pooned, or it doesn't become, I did no damage, you did no damage, I did no damage, you did no damage. The challenges work. Challenges do tell their own story when they work, which is about 25% of the time, but I haven't played it enough to really... Another thing, what was I talking about? Bolters. Bolt weaponry feels good. I know Terminators went up to toughness 5, but no rerolls. It's not just shooting. When you're like hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, and you get a bunch of 1s and 2s, you're picking them up. No artifice or armor. AP3 feels good. Bolter weaponry feels good. The humble bolt. This is the thing. In Heresy, if they'd have screwed up the feel of the humble bolter in the middle of a war game. It was then you knew they fucked up. But they haven't. The bolters feel strong. Having a tactical squad with Fury of the Legion stood on an objective, chucking out 30 bolter shots, it's scary. Your spoiler squad making your way towards them can't shroud anymore. He's not. I'm going to shroud that. You can't. Shrouding, you need smokescreen. Smokescreen, you need to be a Dreadnought vehicle, a recon guy. There's a couple of more Dathan. I think the recon scout. You can't do it with your tactical squad. You can't do it with your despoilers. You can't get that extra save. So you're getting shot at. It hurts. It's good. Bolters feel good. I like bolters. Paul, H347. Welcome to the 13th tier 3. You absolute legend. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a tier 3 channel member. And anyone else who's watching this, anyone else in the live stream, or anyone watching this as a VOD later on, shout out VOD squad, you too can become a Winter's SEO channel member. Tier 1 gets you the custom images and a good feeling in your soul. Tier 2 gets you access to the greatest community, the greatest Discord on the planet, and a really good feeling all the way down to your tip of your toes. And Tier 3 gets you access to a Winter's SEO battle report every single Winter's Wednesday as well. There's also a Tier 4, which we don't talk about. And the Tier 7 is right out. Big, nasty, sharpy, pointy teeth. And also you get those warm feelings supporting a very aging rocker. Welcome, Paul. Come join us. Yeah. I like limited rerolls. No rerolls is a choice, but it does remove mechanics. Yeah, I mean, if you like some people will like a bit of rerolls. Some people like all the rerolls. Some people won't like it. I don't have a preference. It just feels refreshing. It feels good because we're so used to playing so many games with rerolls. To play one without rerolls feels refreshing, and it does tell a story, and it does speed up the game an awful lot. Without any rerolls, you're not picking up, right, where's my 1s, where's my 6s? You just roll it and roll it. Once we've got this down, people, once you are smashing out Horus Heresy 3.0, and I'm smashing out Horus Heresy 3.0, you realise how quick these games are going to go. They're going to be quicker than... They're going to be 3,000 point games that we play quicker than 40k players play them. Because there are no rerolls. What rule system edition is Heresy 3 closest to? It's closest to Heresy 2.0, but it isn't. Tier 5 gets you nips. Nice. Is this the time I should adopt a new gaming system? Entirely up to you, Sullivan Gilbert. Entirely up to you. Check out some more battle reports and see if it's the game system for you. This looks to be the addition of the Land Raider. Thoughts? Land Raider strong. Spartan strong. 8 whole points on Land Raider. 10 whole points on Spartan. Christian Kopang, thank you for being a member for 30 months. What do you want in the next campaign books? Siege of Terror or something else, completely new lore. So in the first campaign book, they've got Isfahan, a part 1 drop site. What they need to do in the campaign books, if I was in charge of Games Workshop, we would get Drop Site Massacre. We would get Burning of Prospero. We would get Siege of Terror. We would get Kauth. We would get Talan. Hit out the big beats. The big... I want to see the greatest hits. That's what I want to see in the campaigns. That's where I would go. Servoskull, thank you for your donation. My favourite content creator. No question. Just my favourite content creator. And a $19.99 donation with a thumbs up. You absolute legend. Can we spam some GGs in the chat for the love that we're feeling this evening, please? Thank you. Servoskull, I big you up, brother. Thank you. What are your opinion on Acastus Knights? I haven't got that far. I'm so tired of Istvan. Let's go to the Siege of Terror. Dude, C.R. Smith. What they could do is release a Siege of Terror part 1, part 2, part... They could release a Siege of Terror Chaos version where there are new rights of war. Imagine if a Siege of Terror book came out and in it there were conversion kits for your Chaos legions, right? Just like they do conversion weapon kits and close combat kits and conversion kits for the Chaos legions with spiky bits. and with maces and with chains and stuff. And you could make your Mark II, your Mark IV, you can make your guys, you could give them bling. And in the Siege of Terror book, you could do conversion bits, but they could also some limited, they could be model releases with it. But in the Siege of Terror book, there would be new rules, new rights of war, particularly for the bad guys that have gone full bad guy. You know, you should never go full bad guy, but they did. Let's have some chaos stuff and some warp rifts and some demons introduced. They could use the Siege of Terror campaign book to sell lots of plastic crap. I mean, I want murder. I want murder and the mega arachnids. I want that campaign book. I want a pre-heresy campaign book. So it comes out, you get a book like that, and it's Warhammer, the Horus Heresy, pre-heresy. And in it, there are 5 or 6 worlds, campaigns, including murder, there's a bunch of stuff in the build-up to the Horus Heresy. This campaign book allows you to play some weird missions from outside of the bounds of the normal Horus Heresy. And with it, drop some miniatures, mega arachnid miniatures. They would sell like hotcakes. They would sell billions of them. Billions of them. I think every Horus Heresy player on the planet would buy at least 5 different armies of mega arachnids. It's everyone knows that one. It's so cool. Will Sultan ever play Heresy? I try to get him into 2.0. See, this is the thing. So I played 4 or 5 games with him off camera, behind the scenes, because Sultan is a dude who loves his Space Marines. He's got 9-10 Space Marine legions for 40k. You'd think he is a Heresy player through and through. He's got Blood Angels, Black Templars, Crimson Fists, Grey Knights, Salamanders. He's Ultramarines. He's got all the things. And that's a Heresy player, right? No. He thought Sweeping Advances were a bit janky. He thought Deep Strike was a bit janky. He thought Dreadnoughts were a bit overpowered. And he's interested in Heresy 3.0 and given it a good punt. And he said that maybe 3.0 will be the game that gets him into Heresy. So the janky bits about the Heresy that I quite liked were some of the bits that put Sultan off. And I wonder if some of the design decisions they made around Heresy 3.0 is for that. There's some, it's like, right, these things are a bit janky. Let's, yeah. You know, that's where we are with, this is why 3.0 exists. It's the jankiness has gone. But not all of it has. And there's still plenty of jank left. And and they should have doubled. If they didn't like Sweeping Advances, they could take that mechanic out. But the Sweeping Advance mechanic only happened very rarely. And it's cool when it happened. It's like a tank could blow up and kill your warlord who stood right next to the tank. That could happen. And your warlord could be in a tank and it could blow up and it killed your... But it didn't happen all the time. It only happened very rarely. And I like those really rare occasions. Those ones. There were rules like if Sol Tarbit killed an Emperor's children in a challenge, then you'd get 2 extra victory points. When is that ever going to happen? That was a rule. But it could happen. There was some rules in it which would happen really, really rarely, but they were jank. And so they've taken them out. But I like the jank. I like the fact that they happen rarely. There was a possibility that you would move a tank and it would immediately get immobilized in turn 1 and get stuck there. And that never happened to anyone ever, except for Sam Nash, again and again and again, every single game he ever played. But apart from him, it never happened to anyone else. So they got rid of immobilized results. Vehicles can get stunned in place. Pinned, it's pinned now. Stunned is different to pinned. I wish they'd have called stunned, and pinned, but it's not. It's stunned is no reactions. Pinned is pinned. Or the other way around. It's different. But you get what I mean. No Emperor model, please. I would love an Emperor model. It doesn't have to have rules, but I'd love an Emperor model. I think there should be... Games Workshop make miniatures for Warhammer And in Warhammer 40k, the big E, the big guy in charge, the Emperor of Mankind, there isn't a miniature for him. Why not? Why? Doesn't have to be rules for him, but why isn't there an Emperor model? And then if they made an Emperor model and you didn't own an Emperor model, would you even be a Warhammerer? Did you Warhammer, bro? It could be the guy in the chair, it could be the guy on the sword, it could be the guy with a robe, it could be Revelation, it could be any flavour of the Emperor, but I want an Emperor model and a Malcador model stood on a shelf. I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, why wouldn't they release them? And then the Primarchs in plastic. And then, if you haven't got the Emperor model and the Malcador model and all the 18 Primarchs in plastic, 19, lined up on your shelf, do you even Warhammer, bro? You'd have to have them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be allowed in the club. Certainly not allowed an extra biscuit at tea time. The Emperor was a lie. The Emperor was not a lie. Get out, Sullivan Bill. You never get to the back of the class, Sullivan. Back. Propaganda. No. The Emperor as a giant black orb for the Dark King. Yeah, a bowling ball. Games Workshop sell. Dunk. £80 bowling ball. Yeah. Will you ever re-upload videos you posted on Deployment Zone? No. I don't have them anymore, and I don't have them. Gone. Also, they're old videos using old game systems. Yeah, any more questions? Q&A, Horus Heresy, third lock in. Let's lock in. Have you got any more heresy questions about rules, about units, about stuff and things while you have me here? Charles Dance would be a great Malcador, dude. Charles Dance would be a very good Malcador. Charles Dance is good at everything, though, isn't he? All of the Death Guard rules, all of them. Death Guard have lost Chem Flamers, Alchem stuff. If they move forward, they count as stationary. Grave Warden Terminators are pretty good. Death Drow Terminators are pretty good. Paco the Taco, thank you for your $10 donation. Malcador, heck yes. But you really think anyone could make a model of him that would do his radius justice? That level of perfection should only exist in your imagination. I like your thinking, Paco. You're right. You shouldn't make a model. You've convinced me. There should not be a model of the God Emperor of mankind. Praise be his name. Yeah. That's a bit like giving us the answer to the 2nd and the 11th Primarchs and what happened to their legion. But mind you, having said that, they could give us one, couldn't they? Like, we know the wolves were unleashed once before. So they could give us that story, couldn't they? And what the Legion were called and who they were. In the pre-heresy book that we talked about, they could give us one Legion. It still leaves a mystery around the second one. Because we kind of know what happened to one of them. And then there's rumours about the Rangdan Crusade, but I don't think the other ones was killed the Rangdan Crusade. I think the other ones met a more like 1,000 Suns sort of end. Like a change, like the flesh. I think they met a different kind of end. Let's face it, 3 legions didn't make it all the way to the heresy. Not 2, not just 2nd and the 11th. The Night Lords were also sanctioned by that point. Kurz had attacked Dawn pre-heresy and ran away. And they were basically dysfunctional warbands by the time the heresy kicked off. 3 legions didn't make it intact to the heresy. They were meant to burn out. There was meant to be a heresy. There was meant to be a war. How does new plasma feel? Same as the old plasma. Can we destroy terrain features? No, but buildings basically count as vehicles and can be destroyed, but buildings don't blow up unless you give them explode. So you'd have to say, hey, these buildings have explodes. They don't, because some tanks don't even have explodes. Rhinos, Predator chassis typically don't explode. Debuggers. Charles Dance as the Emperor. Henry Cavill as Rebute Gulliman. Charles Dance as the Emperor. What they should do for the Emperor is have different actors play the Emperor at different times. Because depending on who saw the Emperor, different people saw the Emperor different ways, perceived it. I mean, Arkan Land in Master of Mankind, he was a scientist to him. And then to most of his sons, he was a big, glowing demigod, But in the Last Church, he became Revelation. He changed. He was different. And Henry Cavill, I think, should be Titus. I think we want a whole thing about Titus. That would be epic. Danny DeVito is the Emperor. Nice. I heard Beachers lost all their Volkite. Is that true? Yes, Subpar Gaming. I'm still mad about it. We're hoping that there's a FAQ or a Imperialis or Legends sheet that comes out shortly after release that tells them they can get all their Volkite back. But yeah. Hi Winters. How does attaching command, high command, Primarchs, etc. to units work? Okay, so all the rules around attaching characters to characters from 2.0 has been trimmed away. So, like again, I talked about some of the jank in 2.0. This is one of there were rules like to attach a Primaris Medicae to a unit of Terminators. He needed to be a Terminator Primaris Medicae. To attach a thing in a certain suit, there was lots of this. That is all gone. Basically, if characters have the support character keyword, or there's a couple of keywords that characters get, all the characters have them, they can join and leave any unit they want to. And the rules around for joining and leaving units are the same as they were before, which is at the end, you've got your character, you've got a unit, and you just move them apart. You can either move the unit away, you move the character away, but basically at the end of their movement, so long as they're more than 2 inches apart, that character is now on their own. Then you can pick another unit to get within 2 inches of them, and then they're now attached to another unit, or leave them on their own, or take a character out of that unit, wander them across, run them all the way across, and jump them into. So characters, just join characters. Command, high command, Primarchs, and more than one character can to attach to a thing. So you can have a retinue, and it doesn't have to have any characters attached to a retinue. This is a change. Previous retinues form part of a unit with a guy attached to them, and the person could never leave. So if you wanted to bring a command squad with a Praetor, if you wanted to bring a command squad with a Centurion, they formed one unit and couldn't break away. Gone. Now a retinue is its own thing, and the commander could go off and join those fellas over there. He could say to his command squad, see this, I have no problem with this as well. Command squads in the lore all the time get sent away to the left while the commander goes over the right to talk to the recon guys. I haven't got a problem with that. So retinues can go off and do their own thing, and anything can attach to a retinue so long as it's a support thingy bob keyword and line thingy bob line officer. There's words to allow, I forget what they are precisely, but if your characters and all the characters have that word, then they can attach to things. It's easy. When are we getting a new edition for 40k? New edition for 40k will be in May next year. May, June, I think they normally come out. Is it April? In my brain, I've got May. It might be April. April, May, June. 40k. 11th edition. Henry Cavill for Rogel. We don't want... I don't want them to do Primarchs. I don't know. I want them to do Gaunt's Ghosts. Do Inquisitors. When the Space Marines turn up, have them turn up at the end and be a force of nature and just fuck everything up. Come in like a fucking hurricane at the end. It's like, Jesus, that was Space Marines. Everybody's dead now. Like, have a series where it's an Inquisitor or humans or something, and they're struggling really hard to do this thing, and they struggle really hard to do this thing, and then the thing, and they break the house, and they do the thing, and they kill the stuff, and then they've got to storm into the hive thing, and there's war going on, and for 2 shows, they're really struggling, and people die, and some of the heroes die in explosions, and oh my God! And then in episode 3, the Space Marines turn up and walk through there in 5 minutes of CGI explosions and glory and kill everyone. And the little humans are behind. And Henry Cavill's looking up going, Daddy, that took us 5 days to get this far. And then the Space Marines like, we've got this now, son. Or something like that. You know, I want my Space Marines, when they appear on the screen, to feel like the Hulkbuster in Age of Ultron. They all of them, the Terminators, should all feel strong enough to take on the Hulk, and there's an army of them. That's what I want. So if they start sticking actors in as this Primarch and this thing, if they start at the top end, here's the Primarchs, then they can't get any higher. You know, that's one of the things about 40k, the sense of scale. Starts small and then it gets bigger and bigger. And by the time you get to sense of scale, which are cathedral cities in space where people are praying to keep the machines running, the holy Alexas, please turn on the secondary drive. We've turned on the secondary drive, achieving warp speed. You know, we that sense of scale, you build, don't start big, start tiny, start on our level. A good idea for a TV show would be Eisenhorn, Ravener, Inquisition, something like that, where our protagonist is introduced to the wonderful worlds of Warhammer 40k, and we're introduced through their eyes. Something small, something tiny, a crime scene, a murder. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then they get to the Hive City and you're like, oh my. And then they go off planet and you're like, oh my. And then you get to cathedrals in space. That's one thing that this franchise will be able to do on screen, which will blow the shit out of other sci-fi. Star Wars, OG Star Wars back in the day, that shot of the blockade runner running away from the Star Destroyer, that sense of scale, you can remember seeing that for the first time when you were kids, right? Like, oh, that Corellian cruisers. You didn't know the names back then, but that's tiny. Oh, that's a really big spaceship. And then, oh, that's a really big spaceship. And then you saw the Star Destroyer and you were like, oh, that sense of scale that you had when you were a kid, that. 40k can do that like none other. Please don't start off with Primarchs. Rant over. Lock in. Paco the Taco, dude, you get it. You just get. Thank you, Paco. Thank you for your £2 donation, $2. I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know if I get it, but sense of scale, 40k, heresy, big. It's everything big. That's the thing about big. It's the one thing this hobby does. Chris Pratt is the Emperor of Mankind. Pedro Pascal plays Dante. Well, he plays everything else, doesn't he? A documentary on making human furniture with Urian Rakarth. Nice. Wait, do you like Star Wars? That's awesome. What do you think of the sequels and the prequels? Everyone likes the OG Star Wars. The 3 Star Wars, one of the greatest trilogies of all time. It's up there with Lord of the Rings, right? It's a really good trilogy. The prequels are okay. The sequels, there was 3, wasn't there? And then there was a movie with Solo in it. I couldn't get past the second one. The second one, which had Luke on the island, and he wasn't a Jedi anymore. Look, if I went to the cinema and watched a movie about Space Marines and they knew fear and they ran away, I'd be like, this isn't for me. That isn't, that's someone's adaptation of the lore. So I didn't. So when they had a Jedi giving into fear and despair and hopelessness, which is not the Jedi way, having read a lot of the extended universe, and I'm old, okay? I've seen the OG Star Wars in cinemas. I saw the OG Empire Strikes Back in a cinema, and Return of the Jedi. This is a Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back came out around the time of video cassette tapes as well, so there were some really bad ones that you could see on a really bad tiny TV back then. But these things ran in the cinema for a lot. I mean, I was a child, so I remember going along to, there was a Saturday film thing that we could go to, and it was £1. And there was I forget which summer it was, but it might have been, I mean, it was way after it was released. It was like 1982, 1983. But every Saturday, all the way through the summer, they showed Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And I remember, because there was no, VHS, you'd watch some shitty thing. There was no, so I remember going and watching Star Wars 1 again and again and again. And it's a thing I did. And then every Saturday there was a movie, and one movie it might be, Herbie Goes Bananas or Condor Man. And I remember I used to get £1 10p from my parents, and I'd go to the tuck shop and with the 10p buy a 10p bag of sweets and go to the cinema. And I could see what they were doing, getting us out of the house on a Saturday. You fuck off out there. And that was my bag. I did that for a long time. Spent a lot of time with Lego and Star Wars and loving Star Wars and playing video games and growing up on the extended universe. And then someone made some movies with not Jedis in, so I stopped there. It's like Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. I watched the opening bit, like I've read the Silmarillion, a chunk over, and I watched the opening bit, season 1, episode 1, Rings of Power. They did the voiceover, like the summary, I forget what it's called, an introduction into Lord of the Rings. And they did the whole thing, and they barely mentioned the Silmarils. I watched that and stopped because I'm like, this isn't Lord of the Rings. And it'll be the same with the Warhammer IP when that finally comes out on screen. If it isn't my IP, I'm not going to watch it. And you know what? That's fine. You can watch Game of Thrones and stop at season 5, and you should. You can watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones and know that there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies and stop. You can watch Terminator 1, Terminator 2 and stop. You can watch Alien and Aliens and stop. And you don't have to go. You can watch The Matrix and definitely stop. I mean, Matrix 2 and 3 aren't that bad, but Matrix is the only movie that I've left the movies theatre, bought a ticket and went straight back in again. The only one. And that was in Southampton. I remember being blown away. So it wasn't for me. I'm old enough and mature enough to know that when something, like The Expanse, great TV show up to season 2.5, stop. I know some people love it after season 2.5, but I don't. So you're fine. You don't, IPs change, wander, get taken over by other voices, by other writers, by other things, and I know what I like. And Luke Skywalker crying like a bitch, that ain't what Jedis do. Not according to all the research that I did in the many decades before. What Jedi? It's like a space marine going, Tyranids, and running away. That doesn't happen. They are hypno thingy bop. They can't physically. Long rant. D. Bangus, thank you for your donation. £2. Fine Charles Dancer's Lord Vader. Nice. Thank you for your donation. Absolute legend. Brother Captain Trajan Valoris. Loyalist Iron Warriors rules. Loyalist? Iron Warriors are traitors, my friends. And the Iron Warriors rules, there are no loyalist Iron Warrior rules. Legion rules. So everyone's got a right of war. Some people have got 2 rights of war. The Iron Warriors have 1 right of war. They've got 1 method of war now. Their Iron Warriors basically, whenever they make a leadership tech cool check, they ignore panic, pinning, stunned, suppressive rules. These checks are going to come up a lot more than you think. Not initially, but they are a thing. So they ignore modifiers to panic, pinning, stunning, suppressive. They just roll on their base. That's what Iron Hands do. They do have 2 additional detachments they can bring in, and but they have no named characters. Yeah. Iron Hands. Iron Hands still good. Iron Hands -1 strength to any shooting attack for non-vehicles. So if you're not a vehicle and you shoot Iron Hands, -1 strength. If you're in Saturnine Terminator Plate and you're getting shot at by a las, melter, flame, or plasma weapon, that's an additional -1 strength, so it's -2 strength. Would you recommend starting Heresy 3.0? Yes, I would. If you haven't touched Horus Heresy yet, it's a good game. 2.0 was better, but I've had fun. It's a good game. Again, I said right at the start, I've said about 5 times during this live stream, I haven't played a bad war game. Some are good, some are... I mean, you guys in the chat, what's your favorite edition of either 40k or Horus Heresy? Horus Heresy 1, 2? Or what's your favorite edition of 40k? I asked chat. Spam it in the chat. What's your favorite edition? And for some, it'll be this. And for others, it'll be this. There's a lot of love for 40k 2nd edition. A lot of love for 40k 8th edition. A lot of love for Horus Heresy 1.0 and 2.0. A lot of 1.0 lovers, a lot of 2.0. I haven't played a bad war game. There's some that I prefer more than others. And I would, if you haven't got into Heresy yet and you love the lore, it's good. I've had fun. And I'm looking forward to, as I said earlier in the stream, I'm looking forward to running the Raven Guards against World Eaters and figuring that stuff out. I'm at the stage, I've gone through the 5 stages of denial. I'm at the stage now where I'm looking forward to getting certain armies on the table and giving them a bang. Heresy 2.0, Heresy 2.0, Heresy 1.0. 8th for 40k was okay, never played 2nd. 40k is a tie between 3rd and 8th. 3rd is an interesting choice. Not a lot of people pick that one. Way back there, people go back to 4th or 5th. 10th edition, because I started it. Sultan thinks 10th edition 40k is one of his favourite versions of wargames. Horus Heresy 2.0 is the only one I have stuff in Rerolls for. Nice. 40k maybe 6th and 9th. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Fae 40k is split between 3rd and 7th. Interesting. Again, interesting 7th. With the detachment stuff. Only started 40k in 10th. Picked up Horus Heresy 2.0 again. Chance 3.0 came out. Yeah, so like 10th is one of Sultan's favourite versions of 40k. Minus the missions. He loves the core games. Doesn't like the command... No, what are they called? Chapter improvement. He doesn't like that stuff. I've only ever played 9th and 10th. I prefer 10th over 9th. Yeah, there we go. Taznara. 9th, because I took the time to learn it. 9th, because I took the time to learn it. Implying that Mr. Gilbert didn't bother learning 10th at all. 2.0 is just the best. It is. Literally never had a single bad game in 2.0. Preach, brother. I can't. It's hard. I mean, that's got me thinking, like, did I have a bad game? I think I had one. I remember a bad game. 2.0 Heresy and probably 4th, 7th, 40k. There's a lot of people loving the 4th and 7th. You see, when I go that far back in 40k, I liked... My favourite version of 40k was 5th or 8th. Early edition 8th, before they brought out Primarch Nexus and killed everything. And 5th edition. But loads of you guys are saying 7th or 4th or something. 5th had running. 4th you couldn't run. There was no run mechanic. You moved as far as you moved. You need that run mechanic. Change things, dude. 2nd edition, the Vortex Grenades. Yes, but so did Apocalypse, 4th and 5th edition as well. So they didn't really go away. 8th, favourite edition. Surprisingly more than 2.0. 8th of my favourite edition for your Batterets. More than 2.0. Nice. Yeah, I really liked 5th edition 40k, and I really liked 8th edition 40k. I couldn't tell you which. So they're completely separate. 5th edition 40k and 8th edition, completely different rule set. But both 40k, and I couldn't tell you which one I preferred the most. Early edition 8th, before Primarchs. The first year and a half before they screwed it. 9th, because customization was much more involved. Bring back relics. Would you house rule? Some 3rd edition, so it's more similar to 30k. I typically don't house rule, but I think there's a couple of things like the terrain might need some. What you're more likely to see on the channel is custom missions, like I do in 40k sometimes. 2.0 was very difficult for my wife and I to learn. Never got around to it because no one was around to teach us. Huge barrier to entry. 2.0 was a huge barrier to entry, which is why we're here with 3.0. It's supposed to be less of a barrier to entry. Eldar had fleet, yes, but apart from Eldar, no one else could run. And we don't talk about Eldar here. True, even losing horribly in 2.0 just feels fun for me and my mates. Dude, if you... It's not about the winning or the losing, really, right? If you need to win to have a good game, then about 50% of your games, you're going to have a terrible time, you're going to feel shit. Because you win about half. You've got to learn to love the game and the explosions and laugh when horrible things happen to you. And laugh, not when horrible things happen to your opponent, unless you know them really well. But you've got to learn to love the swings and the ups and downs and the lefts and the rights. And just, yeah, there's just something about it. My creative brain, the ability to create, paint, collect the stories. It's something about the left lobe gets really tickled when I'm war gaming or blood bowling or space hulking or whatever it might be. I mean, you know, guys, you know what we're talking about. That tickle, oh, I do like a little tickle. Tyranids could run in third, I think. Could they? I can't remember that far back. Nids at fleet. Yeah, there you go. Apart from fleet. You win half? I wish. You really don't like Mr. Brennan. No way if you don't like Eldar talking. What? I don't know. Totally agree with the win and to have fun. Yeah, I mean, winning is fun. It's nice to win. But imagine if you won 100% of your games all the time. Wouldn't that get boring? Isn't it nice seeing the joy in someone's eyes when they win sometimes, particularly if it's been a hard-fought close game? Here's the thing. Those hard-fought close games where it's really close, I don't care if I win. The really close ones. Because the story, the drama at the end, and the joy in someone's eye, or the expression, or the yes, or the no, when you play a game of Scrabble when everyone's screaming and shouting at each other, that brings you down. When you're playing a game of Scrabble when everyone's drunk and sticking pretzels on their forehead, and that's fun. When your opponent is having more fun and laughing and having more fun, you have more fun. When your opponent is crying and moaning and complaining because you're at a tournament or because their name is Jeff, you have less fun. It's part of the social contract, right? And trying to help your opponent have as much fun as possible, you'll have more fun. Is Pardo in the chat? Hi, Pardo. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining the chat. Check out SN Battle Reports on YouTube. They do a lot of heresy content. I think it's all heresy content now. Scrabble is never fun. I remember playing 40k where, as a house rule, we decided to blow up the fuel storage facility in the middle of the board, destroyed half my demon army. Brilliant. Custom rules like that. Banging. I like the explosions. I like the random stuff. I mean, you've watched the channel. You've seen Murder Bowl. You've seen some of the random things that I do. Randomness is fun. We like rolling dice. We like the random things. Can you go over vehicle ramming rules for third? My only two were I killed a rhino. Right, so Death or Glory is back. You can stop something ramming you. I forget the ramming rules. I will go over it quickly. Ramming. I can't remember them. Vehicle ramming. Pardo, maybe you know the answer. Charging a vehicle. May not charge. It takes you in the fight phase. Ramming. Resolving damage. Is ramming still in here at all? Defensive weapons. Vehicles. Vehicles and saving throws. Vehicles and rushing. I can't remember what the ramming rules are. Because vehicles in close combat never considered as locked. And they're never... Just like vehicles in close combat in 3.0 are the same as 2.0. Basically, vehicles are never locked in combat. You hit them on rear armor. And you hit them on 2s. So in the fight phase, they do not fight. So ramming, I forget what it was. Vehicles in the movement phase. Vehicles. Vehicles and terrain. Moving through other units. Counters move through. Model vehicles friendly. I can't find it. I can't find rules about ramming at all. Repair test. Vehicle units. This is... So vehicles in the movement phase. They just move. If a model with a vehicle type moves through friendly units, you can move vehicles through friendly units. You can't move friendly units through vehicles. If a model with a vehicle type moves through an enemy unit composed of models that do not have the vehicle type, then once the model with the vehicle type has finished its move and its final location decided, each enemy unit composed of models that do not have the vehicle type that was moved through takes D6 strength 6 hits, AP dash. Note that such a move may trigger the death or glory advanced reactions. So that's why I couldn't remember it, because buried in all of this, there is 3 sentences there about ramming. If you go through enemy units, each unit you go through takes D6 strength 6 AP dash hits, 1 damage. That's it. Tidied up. But there is an advanced reaction now called death or glory. And where you can... it's an old reaction. Death or glory was the thing that you could do back in 7th edition, where your guy with the melter could stand in front of the tank. Or your guy with a fist could stand in front of the tank and try and kill it. And if you fail to kill it, you get run over. Heavy cover rules are entirely stupid. Can you do a battle report where you use your rhinos as a bunch of ramming murder machines? Technically, yeah. Raging Horn, thank you for being a member for 5 months. You absolute legend. Had my first intro into Heresy tonight. Start of a beautiful thing. Looking forward to learning more. Thanks for killing my wallet, Winters. Thank you for being a member for 5 months. And, yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I want to get past this stage, the 5 stages of grief, to the other side where we're enjoying the hobby again. And we're talking about what's cool, what's not cool, I want to get there. We went through this with 7th to 8th. Okay? We got to the other side. We need to do it with 2nd to 3rd edition. Right? And then we'll play the crap out of 3rd edition. I'll play the crap out of 3rd edition, just like I played the crap out of 2nd edition. And when I reach the end of that road, I will let you know. And say, I've had enough. I'm at the end. I'm going back to this. Or I'm not playing it anymore. Like I stopped doing Heresy 1.0. If I don't reach the end of that road, and then Heresy 4 of 4th edition comes around, then we go to Heresy 4th edition. And we keep going. We keep going. We keep having fun. We keep enjoying it. And I keep sharing my hobby with you. And, yeah. Yeah. I've been playing this game for a long time. And I love it. I love it. Would like to see more than 4 turns. So would I. I think the problem is, with your cover rules, you're not using them right. What? Plaza parts of ruin should be light cover. Most terrain should be light cover. You were just saying this whole block is heavy. No, I said it was all medium. Basically what we did is we ported over the rules from second edition. Second edition ruins were medium, were a 5-up save. 6-up save, light cover, was available in 2.0. And 2.0, so in 2.0, a 6-up cover save, light cover, was things like a tree or a bush or industrial scenery. A 5-up cover save were like ruins, barricades, battlements, things like that. Solid, heavy cover. And that is the intention given in the book, with the examples that they give as well. Direct examples in the back. There's a couple of crazy things in the back of this book, actually. I'll show you one of them. Two great big... So here's some examples of all the terrain jumping around, right? One of the examples is this lovely ruin where they've got these guys up here saying, hey, guys in ruin can see further and shoot. But they're in a ruin and they're more than 3 inches back, so they can't actually see out of that ruin. That's the example. So here's some guys that can see a long way out of a ruin. They can't. Not according to the rules. They can't see at all. Great. That's really good. Here's another example in this book. You're going to love this one as well. Here's Leman Russ with some Wargear Terminators. Look at all these lovely Wargear. I've collected Wargear Terminators because they're the best choice to go with Leman Russ. See that Wargear Terminator with a Thunder Hammer? You're not allowed Thunder Hammers and Wargear Terminators anymore. It's just frost axes. So that's an illegal choice. You can't do that because that's in the rules. There's 2 clear pictures in the main rule book of things that they say, hey, this is really cool. But yeah, that's not allowed. And yeah. Anyway, there's always something in the main rule book somewhere. There's always something. Oh dear. Right, they have melee vets without jump packs too. Do they? Brilliant. Yeah. I think basically light cover is going to be like everything's a bush or a rock. Nothing's going to be solid cover. Everything's going to be light cover going forward. The medium cover is going to be if you're on it. Like if you're in that lip. And make sure your medium cover is no more than 3 inches thick, because if you're behind it, you're not going to get shot. You're not going to charge. Mind you, if you're Alpha Legion, like I said, Alpha Legion, it's -2 to the distance. So you can be an inch and a bit in terrain. And if you're Alpha Legion, you're never getting shot. You're never getting charged, ever, if it's medium. So everything's going to have to be light. Or the unit community is going to have to come together and say, if you're in medium ruins, you can see someone in medium ruins, regardless of whether you're 1 and a bit inches away because you're fighting Alpha Legion. Like literally, you could be there and there, shooting an Alpha Legion 1 in the middle of a medium ruin, and there could be and you can't shoot him. Oh dear. In the 10th edition, they talked about how Sternguard veterans can take last cannons on monuments. Yeah, there's always something, C.R. Smith. There's always something. When they say X, but Y, and then X, what? Here we are. Yeah, okay, right. So my water is running out. We've been nearly on for 2 hours. Is there any more rapid fire Heresy 2.0, Heresy 3.0 rules questions or codex questions, Liber questions you want to ask me? Just time to rapid fire them. I'll try and give you rapid fire answers. Boom, 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 boom. Did we yell at clouds a lot this evening? I'm not sure we yelled at clouds a lot this evening. I think we're okay. I think I was trying to be positive. The main message you need to take away is Heresy 3.0 doesn't suck. I have enjoyed all my games of Heresy 3.0. I've enjoyed them all. I have not played a bad war game. And there's parts about this edition that I'm excited about, and parts about this edition, and it's got me thinking about certain lists and certain playthings and certain things I want to do and show you guys. That's where I am now. I'm trying to, and then you will see. Right, so Phoenix weapons still exist. Emperor's Children Phoenix weapons still exist. Yes, they do. And charnable weapons on Palatine Blades are really good. Charnable weapons are really good now. When can we see Death Guard on the channel? Well, see, the problem is, to film more battle reports, No one else has got the book right now, apart from me and Alex fighting here. And it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while till I get back up to speed with Horus Heresy content. Is there still plenty of options for Mechanicum HQs? Yes, there is. There's plenty of options. It's good. Can you make an armoured spearhead in 3.0? Yes, you can, but you don't need an armour master of armour. There are... So... What you'll be doing is you'll be in the primary slot is you'll be bringing your troops in rhinos, and then there's HQ upgrades for tanks, and then that you're going to need a few more commanders, you're going to need some more troops, but you can. Yes, it's easier to do. In fact, how about a flyer rules in 3.0? They have their own mini game. They come off and go on. They come on and go off in the middle of a turn. And then you continue the turn. Challenge phase is a mini-game. Flyer rules, mini-game. Found any bottles and changelord units? What? What legion should I start with in Heresy 3.0? Imperial Fists are good. Raven Guard are good. You should pick the colour that you're really good at painting and the miniatures you want to bring. Think about what collection and paint job. Go there. Do you think we'll get a FAQ? Yes, I do. I'm surprised it's not out already. Keep making great content. You rule. You rule, D-baggers. Tonda Subba, thank you for your 30 months membership. Legend. Why does Guilliman Gladius have worse breaching than the Susarian Axes? Not happy about that one. Does he? Brilliant. I want to check it out now. Guilliman. Wrong thing. Legion. Rules. Loyalists. Guilliman. He can't suck in close combat. They're all good in close combat. Guilliman. The Gladiator... Okay, so his Gladiator is AP 3, Breaching 5. Duelist Edge 1. So he's using that thing. But he's got the Hand of Dominion. That's an AP 2, Damage 3, Armor Bane Power Fist. At strength 10. He's got a Leviathan Dreadnought fist. I am not mad. If you don't worry about the Gladius. He's punching as hard as a Leviathan Dreadnought. With more attacks. And with Armor Bane as well. So how did your Admech army do? Can you get it on the table? I can get it on the table. I barely touched the edges. How are Bane Blades? They're in the Legends choice. Can a knight have its weapon skill increased beyond 4? Don't know yet. Haven't got there yet. Okay, Mr. Winters, you're near your 2 hours. I am. Thank you, Clarky. Thank you for your donation. You legend. Stuart Fields, all the way from the land down under. Been a member for 20 months. Thank you for your 20 months membership. You absolute legend. Morning. It's evening, Stuart. It's evening. Not morning. Australians, honestly. Did I miss it all? No, it's fine. You didn't miss anything. No one said anything of particular note. I don't play Heresy. See, you didn't miss anything. You don't play Heresy. But I really hope all your fans of the game are at least somewhat happy. Everyone is happy when it comes to Horus Heresy. There is no internet upset at all when it comes to Heresy 3.0. Everyone's really excited to play the new game. Will I get my Elastus assault cannons back in the FAQ? I don't know. Adil H333 paint. I don't know. The FAQ though. Yeah. We'll see. Because they've taken so much away because it's not available in the box. But then there's a bunch of units that have access to a bunch of stuff that's not available in the box. Atramentur, Justaran Terminators, Castellax Robots, Thalax Robots. There's a chunk of them. And then there's a chunk of stuff that only has what's in the box. And then there's some stuff like Tartarus Terminators, which doesn't even have options that come with the models in the box. When you do a collaboration with Heresy Hammer, yeah, no idea. If Heresy Hammer would like to do a collaboration with me, here I am. I've collaborated in the history of YouTube. I've touched tips with everyone. And that's one of the privileges of being able to... I've been able to meet some lovely people. I've been able to have some beers with some very friendly people here, there, and everywhere, and meet people that I'm a fan of too. And that's one of the privileges of being able to do this. I'm very, very grateful for that. Raging Horn gifted 5 memberships. You legend, you Raging Horn, you. Thank you very much. GG's for Raging Horn. GG's in the chat. And there's no message to that. It's just like dumping some memberships right at the end of the live stream. Raging Horn, I appreciate you. I also appreciate everyone who turned up here this evening. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the new memberships. And then thank you for everyone who chooses to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that sort of shizzle to me or any other YouTube out there. 40k YouTuber or any other YouTuber. This is, honestly, if you have taken your time to like a video or subscribe to a thing, even if you're not members, it doesn't matter. Any video, any YouTuber out there, and you're helping giving, it helps the holy algorithm. It helps me out. It helps them out. It helps everyone. YouTube, us YouTubers. And I'm also an avid YouTuber. I'm on the YouTubes as well. And you guys, you're on the YouTubes as well. You're avid YouTubers. There's not a lot of us. There's not a lot of us, particularly in the 40k space. But we're dedicated. We're friendly. And I want to thank you for helping and clicking and subscribing in your generosity. You're very friendly. You're lovely. Thank you very much. And Service Girl's just gifted another membership. I'm trying to do the wrap up here, Service Girl. But thank you for gifting another membership. Oh dear. You're absolute legend. Yeah. So that was the wrap up, Service Girl. But I stumbled at the finishing line. I was giving out the love. Thank you for giving me a little bit of love back again. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Tomorrow, 2,000 point battle report for Winter's Wednesday, for Winter's Tier 3 channel members, Winter's Wednesdays. Me versus Chewy. Chewy turns up with a tournament list and says, I'm going to do a tournament list. Let's go. So it's like waving a red rag to a bull. So I break out Starshat and Necrons. I'm like, let's go, Chewy. And it's really close. There's only a few points in it. I won't spoil it. Raging Horn, thank you for your donation. Can we get some red Rinters dice or black? We don't go back, Raging Horn. We don't go back. We've done the red dice. I've got about 6 packs of blue dice left. And if you'd like some dice, then email email Winters Dice to winters40k@gmail.com. That's winters40k@gmail.com. And my wife, Kat, will answer you and tell you how to get them. Winters Dice. So next time we do dice, which will probably be next year, will be black. I think we'll be black. But we're not getting red. We don't go back. As Ragnar Lothbrok once said, don't look back. You're not going that way. Pink dice. We're not getting pink dice or sparkly dice. So that's on Wednesday. And then on Sunday is a 3-way, 3-for-all, chaos on chaos and chaos action and battle report. And that one was really good fun. I had a lot of fun doing that one. And I've said all the things. We're not doing sickly green. So I'm pressing that thing on the thing. See, professional end, not rainbow dice, professional end. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming. Servo Skull, that was a smooth ending, right? I don't normally get away that smooth. Do you see how smooth that was? That was smooth, bro. I feel like I'm leveling up. I've at least achieved level 2, maybe level 3. Get my badge, stick it on the thing. Anyway, I'm going now. Just press that button and press the other button. I haven't muted it, have I? Do you mute? I haven't muted it. This is not professional. Click. Now that wasn't professional. That wasn't with the muting and the thing. We have to do that right. I'm going. This time we are properly going Normally it was just one button, then I screwed it up. Now I have to press 3 because I made a thing with the thing. But I fixed the thing, but I have to press 3 buttons now. And sometimes... Anyway, professional. Thank you, Paco, for gifting a membership. Thank you. I appreciate you. Can we get some GGs in the chat for Paco? That was good. That was good. Yeah, well, I'm gonna... It's like been over 2 hours. She made... talking about Pacos and tacos, I've got these wrap, chili fried wrap thing with peri peri mayonnaise and jalapenos, and oh, they're so good. I got one left over. It's like when you fold a wrap into a quart. Thank you, Raging Horn, for your £2 donation as well. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm out of water, so I've got to go. So press that thing, and press that thing, and press that thing, and then we go. Thank you for your service, go. Thank you for your $1.99. I mean, guys, haven't you got supper or anything, or the heretic that is Thingy Bob from the Land Down Under? What's his name again? Stuart from the Land Down Under. He's got breakfast and a job to get to. You guys put the rugrats in bed, kiss them goodnight, have a hot chocolate, and happy wargaming, right? Let's do that. We do the 6th thing, okay? Like Ferris Bueller, like, go. It's over. It's 5 p.m. I have nothing to do. Buy Space Marine 2. Play the shit out of it. It's a great game. Horde mode is on right now. It's really good. Happy wargaming. Could Saturnine work with Raven Guard? Yes. Raven Guard are still a legion, and there are still any narrative reasons to field anything. Look, it's more likely that there were more tanks in certain legions than others. It was more likely that there were more sniper rifles in certain legions than others. It was more likely that there were bikes all over the White Scars than others. But they were still legions, so there's no narrative reason why you can't get the thing that you want to get and stick it in the legion you want to stick it in. So having a rock of Saturnine stuff in a Raven Guard force with some big guns behind them, and then fast stuff speeding all around the edges would look cool AF. Would look cool as AF. And they would have them. And happy wargaming.